Happy Wednesday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I feel like I should have a theme today, but I really don't. So, put on some Celtic music later. I don't know. Dance around a little bit, do a jig. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. Good start to the day. It's a little cloudy and dreary here, but at least it's going to be warm this week, so that's super exciting. We are only a few days away from spring. And we are continuing on our spring theme this week. So this week's class is all about watering and cultivating our seed of intention. So, you know, we often set an intention in class, but we really never think about allowing that to grow. And so we'll do a little bit of grounding this morning with a short seated meditation, and then we'll get going. And it should just be a nice, kind of easy flow today. Props you may want to have handy. You might want a blanket to prop up your hips, totally optional. You do need a block, so I need to grab my block as well. And then a strap is also optional. So if you want to get those things handy, let's get started. All right. And actually, I'm going to do mine without the strap just to give you guys those options. Let's start in a comfortable seat. If that works for you, just begin to come into the space. And here, if you'd like to prop up your hips, as always, that is an option for you. So just sitting with a nice, long, tall spine. And just begin to lengthen your inhales and exhales to be the same length. So maybe starting with a count of 4 on the inhale. Exhaling for a count of 4. And as you inhale, allow your eyes to come down to the ground or to a close, keeping your focus and awareness on your breath, allowing your face to relax and release, unclenching the jaw, and adding a little bit of space between the teeth just to relax the lower portion of your jaw. One more round of inhales, maybe deepening the breath, maybe for a count of 5. Allowing the breath to fill your entire chest cavity until you feel it up into the collarbone. And exhale, release for a count of 5. And then allow your breath to just become natural. Noticing the coolness of the air as you inhale and the warmth of the air as you exhale, focusing on that, on your nostrils where you feel the breath come in and out of the body. Just noticing any subtle movements and shifts you might have in your body as you continue to breathe. But again, just allowing the breath to flow naturally in and out, smoothly and evenly. And so as we just had our new moon on Saturday, it's the perfect time to set an intention. And I know we did this last week, but if you missed it last week, or maybe you want to revisit whatever intention you set, I invite you to draw that into your mind. And this is something that you want to cultivate and grow in your life. That could be a relationship, it could be something you've been wanting to do, desiring. It could just be a feeling. Maybe it's joy. And allow that intention to settle into your heart center. If you're planting the seed in the deepest part of your self, of your soul, of your body. Breathe into that and allowing your heart to expand and fill with this intention. Expanding in all directions, 360 degrees. Just as we cultivate seeds and plant them in the earth, can't just plant them and expect them to grow. We need to nurture them. So maybe, we get a little bit of water and apply that. We provide nourishing food for the seed in the soil. Even earthworms or things, other beings that help this seed grow. And just as it is in nature, so it is with us, where we need to cultivate our seed of intention. And it doesn't mean putting in a massive amount of effort, but it does mean caring for it, nurturing it, and then allowing the powers of nature, of the universe around us, to take that seed and allow it to grow and blossom and flourish. Maybe we don't know exactly where it's going to go, but we enjoy the experience of watching it grow. So I invite you to cultivate and nurture your seed of intention. Just giving it a little bit of care when you need it. Maybe even calling in help from another being if you need it. And then allowing it to flourish, allowing the universe to manifest whatever it is that you would like to grow in your life. Inhale deeply through the nose and exhale, release, sigh it out. And gently blink your eyes open. Sorry, that was a little bit longer meditation. I think I was enjoying it so much. And let's get a little bit of movement in today. So let's begin to start with some hip circles. So just leaning forward on the inhale, over to one side, and then back on the exhale. Nice deep forward bend just to start to stretch through your hips. And today's class is really focused on opening through our hips. We hold a lot of tension there. And it is also around our second chakra, our sacral chakra. And that is our emotional body center, but it's also our power for creation, literally, physical creation. So when we want to manifest something, it's really helpful to tap into that second chakra and physically release any tension we might be holding on to. Let's switch directions. So the more forward you bend, you'll feel it a little bit more in the outer hips. So it's not so much about going cat-cow here, but just really opening through the hips. And allowing it to feel good. There's no right or wrong here. It's sort of like, what feels good for me this morning? Maybe it's not as deep, or maybe it's deeper than usual. So today's practice will be tapping into first and second chakra. So I think of rooting down and cultivating our seeds of intention by being connected to the earth, and then just releasing tension around the physical body where we hold on to things, and giving us space to draw in the new and create. All right, come back to center. We are going to move into seated cat-cow with Kapalabhati Breath. So I'm going to adjust my cross on my legs. Make sure you have a long, tall spine. As you inhale, breathe in. Press your chest forward. And as you exhale, round your spine, roll back. And we'll combine this in a little bit quicker motion with our breath of fire. So focusing on the exhale, making it a little more forceful than usual. Think about getting movement through the thoracic spine, so that space between your shoulder blades. And you can speed it up if that feels good. But take it at your pace, and we'll be here for about 10 more seconds. 2, and 1. Exhale completely, come back to center. Inhale deeply. Hold at the top, engage Mula Bandha. Draw your chin back towards your collarbones, engaging Jala. Can't ever say it, Jalandhara Bandha, and I'm sure I just messed that up. Just hold that in. And exhale, release your bandhas, release your breath. And let's just do a little bit of stretching here. So we're going to cradle our right leg up, and you can hook all the way around if you're feeling open this morning, drawing your right foot into your left elbow. Or you can kind of just take it a little more gently, holding your shin or calf. Just beginning to open through the outer hip. Just give it a nice little rock side to side. And then we're going to take this into a twist. So stamping your right foot over your left knee. And you might need to make some adjustments here. Coming into half Lord of the Fishes. Plant your right palm behind you. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, take a twist to the right, and you can grab for your knee, or you can draw in deeper, hooking your elbow. Beginning to twist from the midline. Feel it into your internal organs, your stomach. I always think of it as like a central axis I'm spinning around. That's the best way for me to envision it in my body. One more breath. And release, and let's take it to the other side. So release your right leg to the ground. Cradle your left leg. And one side might feel a little bit different than the other, but that's fine. It's not really about focusing on the asymmetry. We tend to do that a lot. I know I do that a lot. Like, oh, this one shoulder never works as good, or this one side never works as good. Don't worry about it. Just be with how you are. Enjoy it. And we'll do another minute, cradling your leg. And taking this into the twist, stamping your left foot over your right, making any adjustments. Left palm plants. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take a twist to your left. And again, you can stay with just grabbing the knee, or you can hook the elbow. But just find what feels comfortable. So one side might feel different than the other, totally fine. Work with what you got. Allow your face to relax here. Exhale, release, come back to center. Draw your feet together. Look, we haven't even made it off our bums yet. Give your knees a butterfly. So hold your feet and just take a moment to just let them flutter. Give it a little bit of a playful feeling. Yoga doesn't always have to be serious. We make it serious sometimes, and sometimes that feels good, but it's just like, let's just do something fun, like a little kid, right? Butterfly your knees, make it bigger. And then slowly release that, and let's come to, it's going to come to laying on our backs, but let's just get moving. Let's do a little bit of cat-cow, so come to table. Inhale, lower your belly, cow pose. Exhale, round through your spine, cat back. We'll just do a couple rounds just to loosen up our spines a little bit more. And exhale, round. Tuck your toes, send your hips all the way back. Come into a toe stand. Hold here, and you can press your toes into the mat. And just sit back on your heels. And this can be a lot, especially first thing in the morning. So if you need to stay supported, stay supported. You can always lift your knees up if it's too much as well. And then we're going to come all the way back onto our heels, coming into Malasana. So you might need to adjust a little bit. I always need to take my feet a little bit wider. And my heels are just going to come up today, and just allow that to be. So no big deal if you are feeling like, oh, this is not happening this morning. Think about keeping a long spine and maybe giving your hips a little bit of opening using your elbows. Not too much, not forcing anything. And then we're going to do this together. We're going to come all the way up to stand. So ground down, come up onto your toes. All right, so balance challenge. Press into your toes, come all the way up, and then lower your heels down. Well done. Let's just do a little bit of flushing out. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's hang out here for just a moment. And I'd say we're going to be about 35 minutes today. I think I'm just going to start changing my end time. Then I'll probably run 5 minutes over that. If you want to take a ragdoll, you can. Just take a nice deep bend in your knees. Let your sits bones come high. Let your palms plant. Curl yourself out to downward facing dog. And again, starting with bent knees, really root into your fingers and your thumbs. Let your arm bones spin towards one another, your elbows spinning towards the front of the mat. And then, if you'd like to pedal out, you can. Opening up through the backs of the calves and hamstrings. Beginning to cultivate your Ujjayi breath if you haven't yet. Inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, come up high onto the ball of your left foot. Bend your right knee towards your chest. Step all the way through runner's lunge. Lift your heart. Press your left hip down. And then step your left foot up slightly. Rise up, warrior one. And take your time if you need to heel toe your foot over. I like to start warrior one, slightly leaning forward. So I really press through my left heel. Arms extend. Bend through your right knee. This will protect your low back, and then as you feel open, you can lift up. But we tend to crunch our low backs and maybe not get into alignment properly, so keep drawing your right hip back. Engage your abdominals. Then take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Spread your elbows away from one another, lift your chest, keep engaging your core. Open your heart. Exhale, release your hands, taking the bind behind your back. Again, you can take that little lunge forward. Open through the chest. Navel towards spine, heart lifts a little bit. Exhale, fold forward. Coming into humble warrior. Working towards getting your right shoulder inside your right knee. Drawing your right hip back, hips are square. Let your gaze come back towards your left foot. Arms lift away from the body. Release your fingertips, letting them come out to the left corner of your mat. Stretch long. Feel the inner thighs stretch there. Fingertips just extend. And then crawl yourself around to the side. Spin to the back of your mat. And we'll come to warrior one at the back of our mat. So ground down, inhale, rise up. Once again, setting up. Left hip draws back, right hip presses forward. Take that little lunge forward. Press your right heel down. Then as you're ready, maybe lift up. Maybe. Maybe it's too much, but the last thing you want to do is feel that low back sciatic pain. Keep drawing your left hip back. Strong through your core, navel to spine. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your head. Taking the funky interlace this time, lift your heart. Spread your collarbones. Elbows press away from each other. Exhale, release your hands, taking the opposite interlace this time. Lift your heart, draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, fold down, humble warrior. And once again, letting your hands come away from your body. Head goes back towards your right foot. Hips stay square. Exhale, release your fingertips. Let him come to the right corner of the mat. Stretch long, even gaze forward. Then crawl yourself all the way around to the top of your mat. Coming to low lunge. Step back to high plank. Pause here. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Come down onto your belly. Inhale, come up to cobra. But we're going to take toes off the mat this time. So really strong through your core. Press your pubic bone into the mat. Lift your heart. And this can be a relatively low cobra. So find what's comfortable. Lift your toes. Get strong through your back body. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Send your hips high. Downward facing dog. We'll take this whole series again a little bit faster. Starting with the left foot. Inhale, left foot lift. Exhale, bring it all the way through. Low lunge, look up. Stay for your exhale. Step your right foot up. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one. Interlace your hands behind your head. Open through your heart. Elbows come wide. Exhale, release. Interlace your hands. Lift your heart on the inhale. Exhale, lower down. Humble warrior. Release your fingertips. Go to the right corner of your mat. Extend long, look up. Exhale, curl yourself all the way around to the back of the mat. Rise up, warrior one. Interlace your hands opposite way. Lift your heart. Hands behind head. Exhale, release your hands. Take the opposite grip. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, lower down, humble warrior. Release your hands to the left corner of your mat. Look up. Stretch, stretch, stretch long. Open through the hip. Exhale, crawl yourself all the way around to the top of your mat. Low lunge. Step back to high plank. Shift forward. Lower down to your belly. Untuck toes. Inhale, press up to low cobra. Lift your toes, lift your heart. Strong in your core. Exhale, lower all the way down. Then come back to downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, come through runner's lunge. This time, drop your back knee, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Interlace your hands, extend your index fingers. Get long through your spine. Inhale, exhale, take a little crescent to the right. Opening through the side body. Inhale to center. Exhale, crescent to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, release your hands down. Step back to high plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin. Untuck toes. Inhale, lift a cobra, lift your toes. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, send your hips back to your heels for just a moment. Child's pose with a toe stretch. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts high, three-legged dog. Exhale, come all the way through runner's lunge. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, rise to Anjaneyasana. Interlace your hands, extend your index fingers. Press your right hip forward, left hip draws back. Inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, crescent to your left. Inhale to center. Exhale, crescent to your right. Inhale to center. Exhale, release your hands down. Make your way back to high plank. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower to your belly. Untuck toes. Inhale, cobra. Lift your toes. Exhale, lower. Send your hips to your heels. Stretch long in a child's pose. And then send your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, step it all the way through runner's lunge. Round down, rise up, high crescent pose. Stay for the exhale. Draw your right hip back, sink in a little deeper. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Adjust your stance as you need to. Straighten through the front leg, send your hips back, lean forward, lower down, triangle pose. Lower your left fingertips down to the mat. Curl yourself around to the side. Feet come parallel. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower, forward fold. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, spin to the back of the mat. Finding triangle at the back of your mat. Right arm lifts. Think about extending long through your low ribs. And then kind of take a look where your arm is. I know my arm tends to flail around, so take a peek up. Maybe it needs to come forward a little bit so you can see where it's at in space. Inhale, rise up, warrior two, the back of your mat. Moving into balancing half moon. Right hand comes to hip. If you'd like your block, grab it and set it towards the back of your mat. Take a little hop forward. Lift your right foot. Flex through your lifted leg. Ground down. And then maybe begin to spin to the side wall. Arm can lift. Gaze can lift. Lower back down. Slowly, warrior two. Straighten your left leg. This time spinning to the side of your mat. Toes out, heels in. Sink down. Goddess squat. Straighten through both legs. Top of the mat, low lunge. Step back to high plank. You can cycle through the same way we have been doing. Or you can do your traditional vinyasa. And then we'll meet in down dog. Take this to the other side. Inhale, left leg lift high. Exhale, step it through. Runner's lunge, ground down, rise all the way up. High crescent. Open up, warrior two. Ooh, heard that crack. I don't know if you guys heard it. Let your shoulders release from your ears. Keep a little bit of buoyancy in the body. Straighten through the front leg, shift forward, lower down triangle pose. Let this feel really nice. Always opening the hips can be a lot in the morning, but it can feel really good too. And then lower your right fingertips down, spin to the back of the mat, take a forward fold, and I'm going to come around the other way. And then spin to the other side, right toes forward, triangle pose. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Coming into balancing half moon. Left hand to your hip, step your left foot up, right fingertips come down, open up through the side body. Left arm extends. Maybe your gaze spins to the side wall. Exhale, release back to warrior two. Come to straight legs, letting heels come in, toes out, sink the hips. Goddess squat. One more breath. Inhale, straighten both legs, spin to the top of your mat. Palms plant, come back to high plank, hold here before you vinyasa. Taking a side plank, right palm comes to the middle, spin to the pinky edge side of your mat, left fingertips lift. Let your waist lift. You can even use your hand to grab your waist to get that arc in your body. Exhale, release, come back to center, take it to the other side. Left palm plants. You can always take the modification here. Letting your left knee come down to the mat. Exhale, release, come back to center. If you'd like a vinyasa, take it here. We are going to come down onto our mats in just a moment. And let's take a quick child's pose together. Allow your knees to come wide and let your forehead rest on the mat. Or you can stack your hands and let your head rest there. Coming back to your intention, what can you do to help cultivate it and allow it to grow? Press on up. Let's come down to our backs. Grab your block. Place it near you on the side of your mat. Lower all the way down. We're going to take a restorative bridge today to finish up our class. Bend through both knees, feet plant. Inhale, press your low back into the mat. Lift your hips high. And then I'm going to go on the second level, but decide where you'd like to go. Place the block on your sacrum, so below your low back. That flat area just above your bottom. And using your breath, just allow it to release. And breathing into your pelvic bowl. So when you begin to mentally even just be aware of those muscles relaxing in the low back, allow the glutes to release. You may need to move your ponytail out of the way like me, just to get a little more comfortable. Take a few deep breaths, settling in here. Drawing awareness to any areas of tension you might have around your hips. Awareness to where your body is supported by the ground beneath you. You can stay here. You might want to begin to walk your feet away from your body, away from your hips. You can do this any variation all the way to the point that your legs are straight. But just be mindful of how it feels for you. So it might not feel good. It might feel a little too much pressure. Just stop when you get to a good spot. And allow your forehead to release, jaw to relax. Allow every exhale to just soften a little bit. I tend to hold tension in my glutes, so give yourself a little check there. Are you squeezing your glutes right now? Can you release anywhere in your body? Are you clenching your jaw? Are you furrowing your brow? One more breath. And begin to walk your feet back towards your body. And as we release, press into the balls of your feet. Slowly come up, move your block out of the way, and then roll down one vertebra at a time. Very, very gently. Allow your feet to plant on the floor, knees to knock together for just a moment. Gently draw your knees into your chest, give a little rock side to side. And if you would like to take a short Shavasana, I invite you to do that now, just for about 1 minute or less. Extending your legs out, palms face the sky. And allowing your breath to nourish you the same way the water nourishes the seed. Our breath is our life force, our nectar, our watering can. Allow your jaw to unhinge. Your whole face just to relax. Tongue rests easy in the mouth. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you like this morning. Or just begin to make small movements, wiggling fingers and toes, gradually making larger movements. Bending both knees, letting them come up towards the chest, spinning onto one side, making your way up to a seat as gently as possible. And bowing your chin to your chest, draw your hands to heart center. So much gratitude I was able to practice with you today. Thank you for all that have joined this morning. The light, the student, and the teacher in me honors the light, the student, and the teacher in you. Together we draw our thumb knuckles to the third eye, and we bow and say namaste. Namaste.